it is very important from the labor movement point of view why we must keep making Singapore economy better and better. Now, here, if I can, I've talked about this before, but this morning I'd like to maybe use a 2x2 matrix to help to present the picture in a graphic way. And hopefully through a graphic way, we can have a clearer understanding of the issue. If you look at Singapore today at the year 2009, all right, on the left, top left, we have competitors. These competitors, they are better competitors in terms of the technology, in terms of the ability to innovate and so on. So they're the better competitors. However, these better competitors, they are not cheaper. Yeah, they are very expensive. So as a result, Singapore, we compete with them, not by, since they are better than us, we compete by being cheaper than them. So by being cheaper than those who are better than us, right? So that's one strategy. Then at the same time, there are competitors who are cheaper than us, but they are not as good as us. So therefore, what we do is we compete on the basis of being better than those who are cheaper than them. And because we are cheaper than those who are better than those who are cheaper, as a result, we have a lot of space, and that is represented by that big grey area. So there is a space that Singapore has been growing, our economy, for the last 30, 40 years. Yeah. But the bad news is that because of this global crisis, the global situation landscape is changing very fast. So what is changing, and what will continue to change? For example, if you look at the OECD countries, many of them are better than us in terms of the technology, capability, and so on. They're better than us, all right? And they're obviously more expensive compared to us for a long time. Now, but things have changed. Why? Unemployment rates in the OECD country today is 8.5%. 8.5%. And this 8.5% unemployment rate is projected to go up to 10% by next year. So in other words, the OECD countries, about 30 of them, they are most concerned about is that the kind of recovery that they'll be seeing over the next 1, 2, 3 years could be a jobless recovery. So in other words, yes, the global economy may become slightly better and get better and so on, but they're worried that they are not going to see job creation. And as a result, they expect the unemployment rates in these 30 OECD countries to go up from 8.5% today to 10% next year. Now, so what will you do? If you are union leaders in this OECD country, if you are a political leader in this country, what will you do? Yeah. So when Brother John and I were in Geneva this year, we talked to many of these union leaders from the European country, for example. Yeah. So they were very upset. They were very upset with Asia Pacific. Why? They said that Asia Pacific, we have been selling our workers like low-cost, cheap-price commodity. So the Asian workers, you are too cheap, you are too good. Because you are too cheap, you are too good, you are too productive. As a result, you are taking away all the good-paying jobs from Europe. And as a result, Europe today has a high unemployment. And as a result, the economy cannot turn around. Yeah. So what do you think they're going to do? They say we must now find ways to protect jobs, protect investment in Europe. Yeah. So that's one way of their thinking. Another way of thinking, some of them are talking about maybe they have no choice but to compete more cost-effectively. So in other words, they also recognize that maybe in some areas they'll try to become cheaper as well. So in other words, the better competitors are going to become cheaper. On the other hand, the cheaper competitors like China, India, and so on, they look at their growth, they say you want to continue to grow, but they want to grow not just in terms of quantity, they want to grow in terms of quality as well. So for example, in China, Dalian is now competing with Bangalore of India. Why is Bangalore of India? Bangalore, India is famous for three things. Firstly, Bangalore, India is the aircon city of India. Temperature very nice. Secondly, it's a garden city of India. Beautiful flowers. Thirdly, it's a Silicon Valley of India. IT, product and services. So Bangalore of India is well known for this. Good living environment. At the same time, strong capability. Yeah, so Dalian of China say, look, I want to be like the Bangalore of India. So they position themselves as a Bangalore of China now. So in other words, areas that India was strong at, now China is going to compete head-on with India. They're going to become better. What about Guangdong? Guangdong as a province was the number one export province of China. For many years, they are the low-cost factory of the world for the last 20, 30 years. Yeah, when the crisis hit them, thousands of factories disappeared. Yeah, because why? They were competing on the low-cost basis. They were not competing on the higher capability. So as a result, the Provincial Party said Wang Yang is a young man, a visionary leader. He came into Guangdong. He told his leader that he said, look, we have to restructure economy. We must upgrade our economy. And he said, look, if you don't know how to upgrade, how to restructure economy, I will show you how. And how did he show them? He brought his official to Singapore. And he came here, he studied how in Singapore, how we continuously upgrade our economy. And then he went back to Guangdong. He told his other people, look, we must learn from Singapore. Now, so in fact, I think maybe more than 1,000 officials from Guangdong actually came to Singapore to study our system. And as a result, they now have a blueprint in place to restructure the manufacturing sector in Guangdong. And as a result, they actually work very closely with Singapore. And finally, we agreed to work together on a project known as the Knowledge City, to restructure the economy to higher plane. And in the process, of course, create growth for Guangdong economy. At the same time, create a growth opportunity for Singapore-based companies. So Guangdong is also getting better. India, they are not going to do nothing, right? If China is going to get, the cheaper is getting better in China, India must also get better, right? So India is now moving into R&D. They want to be the hotspot R&D hub of the world. Yeah. So therefore, you see the cheaper are getting better. So what is the implication for Singapore? Now, first, if the better are getting cheaper, right? So we're going to see our space vis-a-vis the OECD countries, for example. They are going to squeeze us from the northwest, from the left. What about the cheaper getting better? So as they get better and betterer, right? So they also squeeze us from the right. Now, so if we are not careful, if we do nothing, just happy to be cheaper than better than cheaper, what's going to happen to Singapore economy? Today we are there, Singapore 2009. Now, do we want to move down to become expensive and lousy? Obviously, that's not the area to go to. So there's a no entry area. Yeah. So what is left for us? Only that thin, triangular shape getting smaller and smaller if we do nothing to transform Singapore economy. So Singapore 2009 is there. Eventually, the future Singapore becomes smaller and smaller. Yeah? Yeah, right. Yeah. So there will be fewer jobs, fewer pay. Yeah. So is that what we want? Obviously not. Right. So therefore, what do? Yeah, we have to transform. Now, how to transform? Yeah, by being cheaper, better, and faster. Yeah. So when we talk about cheaper, bear in mind, cheaper does not equal to lower wages. That's not what we mean. Cheaper means we can become more productive. Because if we can be more productive, then the unit cost per output can come down. So we can be cheaper by working smarter, not cheaper by becoming lower wage workers. We can become better by building new capability. We must be able to do what we're not able to do today, tomorrow. Yeah, because if tomorrow, all we can do tomorrow is the same as what I can do today, there'll be no tomorrow for Singapore. Right? So in order to make sure that tomorrow will be better than today, we must become more capable tomorrow than today. And lastly, faster, become more flexible, more adaptable. Now here, we have actually companies that have already started this journey towards cheaper, better, and faster. And let us take a look at some of them.
Economy turning around your head. Turn here, turn there, still going nowhere. I can help you save money. Give you the same best quality from China.
Well, we have to be cheaper, better, and faster. At High Flux, we focus on people and technology. We focus on the developing of people so that they can work more efficiently, faster, and also they can add value in many of the processes that we design. Also, we focus quite a fair bit on technology because only when we have a good technology, then we can be very competitive.
In order to be able to respond much faster to this changing demand, we've decided to embark on this cross-training program to build up a much more responsive workforce, a much more flexible workforce, so that we are able to deploy them to the building where there's actually greater volume of work.
I'm quite happy with this. And I also acquire new skill from the other building also. Then I also understand their culture and the people interaction with each other.
I think by doing that, the company shows that we value training for our employees, and they are very happy that the company actually spent time and money to train them up, and also to make them more flexible and valuable to the company. As a whole, I think this training makes us a lot more competitive in the market.
Raffles Hotel has always been a firm believer in training and developing our colleagues. It is in our culture to ensure that our colleagues are effectively cross-trained and exposed to keep up with the challenges and demands of the evolving hospitality industry.
I actually feel more motivated and empowered with the enhanced knowledge and skills to perform my duties. And as a whole, even though it's more challenging, but I feel that it's very, very interesting for myself.
Our participation in the customer-centric initiative will see us rolling out a number of projects over an 18-month period. This will look at enhancing operational efficiency, improving service quality of our frontline staff, as well as making our feedback management processes more robust. At the end of the day, really, we're looking at providing our guests a Changi class experience. And by this, we mean, personalized, friendly service, augmented by cutting-edge and exciting facilities in our terminals.
It's like sailing a boat upstream. If you stop somewhere, you think you have reached there, you will go back. So you got to keep sailing upwards.
I went to the course and come back to work very fast. Before, I never go to the training, very difficult. When I go come and training, I come back very easy. Before, I'm not interested to work for landscaping. When I go to the course and come back, very good. I very enjoy my work. Because why? I learn a lot items, the course. So I come back to the site, very easy to coordinate to the officer, park officer, manager, everything. I love my job. Because I must say the one more, our Singapore government, thank you very much.
In order to leapfrog to the next level, we have to have new form of initiative. So Nestle has embarked and launched a global initiative called the Total Performance Management. So this TPM is a holistic approach to improve productivity and to cut waste. So our people, not only just our people, but the management needs to have a whole mindset change. Zero waste, one team, 100% engagement. That is TPM. Overall, the productivity improvement in Jurong factory cannot come about without also the collaboration, the cooperation of the union that we work with. We have worked very well with the union to push up a lot of productivities which in other countries would not be able to go through.